11. A national report finds more than 1 in 4 charter schools fall in their first 5 years, actually failing. And by year 15, nearly half of them have closed. Those numbers are even worse in Michigan for those charter schools. And Kelly Vaughn has been doing a lot of research on this. Kelly, you've been following it for a while. What are some of the reasons that we're seeing these problems? I'm sure it's very alarming for parents.
Yes, enrollment in Michigan's charter schools is growing. And when parents choose a school for their kid, they expect that school to still be there in 5 years. But for more than 36% of Michigan's charter schools, that's not the case. Now, the state's population, it is dropping, and traditional public schools are closing as well, but at about half the rate of Michigan's charter schools.
I've kind of looked at Michigan as the wild Midwest of the charter sector.
Mitchell Robinson is an associate professor at Michigan State University and is a member of the Michigan State Board of Education.
When we treat education like, banks and dollar stores and dry cleaners and McDonald's franchises, those are the kind of results we're going to get.
He says charter schools popping up and closing soon after hurts students, teachers, and other schools, sometimes creating public school deserts.
There are parts of Detroit where kids have to travel up to 2 hours a day to get to a school because charter schools have come in, public schools have closed, then the charter school closes, and then there's no school at all.
The report by the Network for Public Education analyzed charter school closures across the country from 1998 to 2022. They found Michigan faces its particular challenges, as charter schools here have less oversight and can be big moneymakers.
70% of the charter schools in Michigan are run by for-profit entities. That is the highest percentage in the nation.
Carol Burris is the executive director of the Network for Public Education. She says every charter school in Michigan must have an authorizer that oversees it, and that authorizer receives up to 3% of the state money that goes to the charter school.
Now, 3% doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is. One case in point, Walker Charter Academy. It's a National Heritage Charter Academy school. It received about $7.8 million last year in state funding. So 3% of that is $234,000. Now, Grand Valley is its authorizer. They have 62 charter schools. You start doing the math, you're talking about between $10 million and $14 million a year. That's a lot of money.
However, not everyone finds their report convincing.
I'm not sure I understand their assumptions or their basic premises because the conclusions don't align.
Dan Quisenberry is the president of Michigan's Charter School Association. He says more and more parents and teachers are turning to charter schools, saying across the state, charter school academic performance is up, as well as charter school enrollment.
Not a criticism, but population in Michigan is declining. Enrollment in public schools is declining, but not in charters. It is absolutely what parents are looking for, something different, the thing that fits their student well.
Of course, supporters of charter schools say charter schools close just like regular public schools do, and those schools offer them more flexibility for their children. But critics are pushing for more oversight, and there have been some attempts in the legislature for that, but none have made much ground.
All right, a lot for parents to consider. Kelly, thanks.